Parmalat accounting scandal 2003, Italy. In the heart of Italy, where the air smells of bread and espresso, one company promised purity. Parmalat, the white wave of Italian pride. Milk, cheese, yogurt, they built an empire from the simplest thing, trust. But behind the smiles and commercials, behind the clinking of coffee cups, there was something else, a secret so huge it would shatter Europe's faith in business forever. And it all began with a man named Calisto Tanzi, a quiet dreamer who wanted to make Italy proud, but couldn't stop wanting more. Calisto started Parmalat in 1961. He was only 22, working from a tiny room with one pasteurizer. His dream was pure, fresh milk for every Italian home. And for a while, it worked. Soon his face was everywhere, in newspapers, on billboards. The boy from Parma had become a symbol of hard work and hope. But something happens when dreams grow too big. The money flows faster. The banks whisper louder. And suddenly, milk isn't enough. Tanzi began buying everything: TV stations, football clubs, travel companies. He built a business empire worth billions. But behind the empire's smile, the numbers stopped making sense. No one dared ask, how could a milk company become richer than some countries? In the late 1990s, accountants started noticing small oddities. Tiny, almost invisible things. Millions missing here. Millions appearing there. But Parmalat's financial statements were perfect. They claimed billions sitting in bank accounts, especially one famous account in the Cayman Islands, with 3.95 billion euros. That number looked beautiful on paper. Too beautiful. Yet when a few sharp-eyed auditors tried to confirm it, they hit a wall. No response from the banks, no real documents. Just copies. Always copies. Calisto smiled in interviews. He told everyone Parmalat was solid. But in the silence of the night, even he must have heard it, the soft cracking sound of his empire's walls. December 2003. A cold wind swept across Italy. A small bank called Bank of America sent a letter, short, sharp, final, that Cayman Islands account? It doesn't exist. In an instant, everything collapsed. Parmalat, once the pride of Italy, was exposed as one of the biggest financial frauds in European history. Nearly 14 billion euros vanished. Families lost savings. Investors cried betrayal. Employees who believed in Tanzi were left jobless. The newspapers called it Europe's Enron. And Calisto? The man who once sold milk with a smile was now the face of deceit. The investigation uncovered a maze, hundreds of fake companies across the globe. They created false invoices, fake transactions, forged bank confirmations. Every missing euro had a story, but each story was fiction. Auditors failed. Regulators looked away. Even big international banks kept lending money. Why? Because Parmalat looked too big to fail. And that's the dangerous part of trust. When everyone believes someone else is watching, no one really does. By the time the truth came out, the hole in Parmalat's accounts was so deep it could swallow entire cities. When police finally confronted Tanzi, he looked tired, not angry, not scared, just small. He admitted that money had been moved, yes. But he insisted it was to protect Parmalat. To him, it wasn't a crime, it was survival. He told investigators he had been trapped, that once the lies began, there was no way out. That's the thing about lies. They grow faster than truth can run. Calisto Tanzi was sentenced to 17 years in prison. The man who had given Italy milk, hope, and pride was now giving the world a lesson. That greed doesn't come with horns. Sometimes it wears a suit and smiles for the camera. Tens of thousands lost their jobs. Small investors, ordinary people, lost life savings. In Parma, people cried not just for their money, but for their dignity. Parmalat had been a family name, a symbol of Italian honesty. One elderly man told a reporter, "We trusted Calisto like our own son." That's the emotional wound no court can heal. The milk that once symbolized purity had curdled, a bitter reminder of how quickly trust can turn sour. The Parmalat scandal didn't just stay in Italy. It rippled through Europe, shaking confidence in corporations and auditors everywhere. Banks were fined. Auditing firms faced lawsuits. Governments began to rewrite laws on corporate transparency. It became a symbol that even in the heart of family-run Europe, corruption could hide behind a smile and a carton of milk. Parmalat was later rebuilt under new management, smaller but cleaner. Yet the ghost of Calisto Tanzi still haunts the story, a reminder that power and purity rarely live in the same bottle. The Parmalat story isn't just about numbers. It's about temptation, the moment when ambition quietly becomes obsession. It's about the lies we tell ourselves before we tell the world. In every empire built on trust, there's always a moment, a heartbeat, where someone decides to fake one more signature, hide one more truth. And from that moment on, the fall begins. Parmalat's milk once promised life. But by 2003, it told a darker story, that purity is fragile, and greed never sleeps. And that, dear listener, is how a milk empire drowned in its own lies. If you found this story as haunting as we did, remember, behind every corporate smile, there's a story waiting to be told. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because next time, we'll uncover another truth hidden in plain sight. Until then, stay curious, and don't always trust the milk. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the scandals that shaped our world.